What's up, guys? This is Coach Cam. Back again with a workout. This time it is not full body. So I actually have rested now. Before this workout, I rested 12 days, took off time just to recover, get everything reset from all the hard training and just my daily life stress. And I split my workout now into 5 exercises. This first one is upper body, starting off here with cable curls. 50 pounds on the pulley, and I improved by 1 rep, which I don't do that many reps. If you've been following along, I do around 5 or 6 reps usually, but the reps take so long to perform. They take about 15 seconds to perform each rep. So when I improve by a rep, that's really good. So I'm glad I took off time. I'm glad I let myself recover, feeling ready to go. So I decided to hit this, trying to prioritize some arm growth by putting the biceps first. You want to focus on putting the most tension on your muscles. That's why I perform reps slowly. No point in moving fast. This isn't a competition. The body is not stimulated by reps. It's stimulated by contracting skeletal muscle. Anything you do throughout your day, contracting skeletal muscle, is in part, at least, an extremely low stimulus. However, training, high intensity training, specifically training with weights, contracting muscles in their function to a point of complete exhaustion is the highest stimulus you could possibly give your body and give your muscles for increases in size, strength, and cardiovascular improvements. Increases in red blood cell count, right? Increases in mitochondria, mitochondrial density, fiber type distribution. So this is unedited, unstopped. I just kept it running. Only 5 exercises, took me 15 minutes. So after those curls, next is push-ups. I've been doing just body weight push-ups usually, and I can take 2 minutes or more. So I decided to add weight today. I added a 25-pound plate to my back to increase the resistance. Also, my triceps get stimulated a lot from push-ups as well. So you'll notice in this workout there's no direct tricep isolation type exercise. The workout order is bicep curls, push-ups, pull-ups, seated overhead press, and then body rows. That's the full workout. So this contracts every major muscle in your upper body, got me an insane pump, and I progressed on everything as well. So super happy to only have to take 15 minutes of training time. Probably going to rest about 6 or 7 days before I go again. So a lot of people will ask this question. They'll say, well, Cameron, can't you do another set after a few minutes? Like, wouldn't you feel ready to go and feel like you could do another? Well, yes and no. No, in the sense that I couldn't replicate even close to what I just did in that first very high intensity all out set. But your type 1 fibers do recover within a minute, 2 minutes. Your type 1 fibers recover, but your type 2 fibers, if you actually stimulated them and brought them into play, they can take days, right? Days to recover. So that's why I take days between sessions. And obviously everything affects it. People ask questions like, oh, can I go for runs? Can I go play sports between sessions? You can. If you find that it's impeding your recovery, then I would cut back and I would do less. You can do whatever you want. I wouldn't lift weights, right? Don't lift weights between weightlifting sessions because that will definitely impair your recovery. But you can do other just basic activities, play a little sports here and there. You're totally free to do that. But obviously, the more you tack on, either more intensity or more volume of other activities, the greater these stresses are and going to impair your recovery. So a lot of people will do running, they'll do some easy runs, whatnot. You can do that. But like I said, if the volume starts getting crazy or if the intensity starts going up, it's going to impede your recovery. But some people aren't trying to get bigger, right? Some people aren't trying to maximize all their fitness. They just want to be fitter than most people. They just want to do what they want to do and have the fitness to do that. So maybe that's your stage. Maybe you're in the stage of you're not trying to make progress when you train. You just are happy to be training, and you take advantage of the abilities that you have, and you go for runs, you do extra stuff. So that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Next here is pull-ups. What I used to do at the gym is I would put a piece of rubber TheraBand on the bar, and it would help me grip the bar better. So I went and found some earlier today in my garage, and I got set up to use them. But then when I went to grab them, I realized it was kind of slippery. So I ended up not using them. Here I'm taking the barbell down. That's where I store my barbell. It's a really good place to store it because it's way up and out of the way. You don't need to have any special hangers or anything. I just set it back here on the safeties so that I'm more ready for the seated overhead press, which is coming up next after the pull-ups. So I love pull-ups. Pull-ups is an awesome exercise, and like I've said in the past, I have records or whatever on my Instagram. You can see my bests with different weights. And I used to be smaller, right? I was over 10 pounds smaller. I was probably about 15 pounds smaller back then when I was doing my pull-ups. And I was, you could say, stronger, right? But you have to come back to, what are you measuring strength by? If you're measuring it by a very specific lift or a skill, then practicing that skill exactly is what's going to get you better at that skill. So I'm probably not as skilled at weighted pull-ups as I used to be. Does that mean I can't get back to it? No. I know what it would take to get back to it. I'm just not in the mood to do that. I want to challenge my muscles' ability to produce force and up to their point of full fatigue or exhaustion. That way I train all the trainable factors, right? In a safe way. We want to do this our whole lives. If you're lifting as heavy as possible all the time, you very well could increase your chances of injury, right? So this set lasted 1 minute and 19 seconds, and I did 5 reps. And I'm advanced with pull-ups, so most people are not going to be able to do high-intensity training with pull-ups unless they're very strong with pull-ups, because it lowers your rep count, right? And the weights you use if you move slower. I could easily move faster and do this with one plate or 45, 50, 60 pounds, but I'd rather go slower, and I like being able to use just my body weight. That way I can literally train and do this workout anywhere, anytime, because I don't need any extra equipment. So I like that component, and it's very, very challenging. That was the end of the pull-ups. Couldn't get up all the way. Hold it, try to. That's the point which your body has recruited all muscle fibers to help you to complete the exercise. So now I'm setting up for overhead press, expecting a big increase in improvement. So I go ahead, instead of loading 5s on each side of the bar, I loaded 10s. Haven't done this exercise in a while. Usually because I do dips, dips and overhead press work a lot of the same muscles, just in a different way. And I'm kind of on an overhead press kick right now. So I'm going to keep this split in this program I wrote and run it for a few months, see if I want to keep it or make any changes. I'm always making small changes to my training. And that's something that keeps me improving and keeps me sharp, right? There's people who go to the gym for decades and they just don't think critically about what they're doing. They do the same thing over and over, the same weights, the same routines, and they don't have much to show for it, right? But I continually think about my training. I think about what I want to get out of it. How am I doing? How am I progressing? And that's in part why I changed my training split to less exercises. I was talking to another guy on Instagram. His Instagram handle is split_hit_fitness. He's in another country. I think it's Croatia. And he trains high intensity training. And I was talking with him, and he was telling me how he could not handle what I've been doing. And that he does 5 exercises at the most per workout and rests about 5 or 6 days. So I was like, you know what? My progress has really not been what I think it can and could be and should be. So I decided to cut back. And this is something that you're never going to hear this from other fitness influencers or anybody in the fitness community. You're never going to hear, oh, actually, you should like do a little bit less, right? Everyone says, oh, you need to do more volume. That's what's going to get you through your plateau. That's what's going to get you further along. And to a point, it will. And the reason that more volume will ever get you more results is because the volume you're already doing is not fully stimulating or not maximally stimulating. There's still room for improvement. And so in my case, I try to push myself to the max every workout. And that way I know that that's not a limiting factor in my results. It's not that the muscles weren't stimulated. It's just going to come back to, am I training too frequently or have too much volume that's not allowing them to recover and adapt? So here's overhead press, nice and slow, the barbell. I was thinking the other day about how some people literally approach training and think to themselves, you know, how can I hold back today? Like where is it a good idea for me to not go all in, right? They think I'm going to do this much training, but if I train too hard, then I won't be able to complete the whole workout or something like that, which I go into training the complete opposite. I don't think, how can I hold back today? Where is it necessary to not go all in, not train as hard? I think I'm going to train as hard as possible and just complete that with as little work as required for me to get the best results. So you should be holding back or trying to recover on the days you're not training, on the days in between workouts, not during the workout. You need to go in with the mentality of, I'm going to push myself as hard as I possibly can, give it my all today, right? That's what you want to go into the workout with, not thinking, how can I beat around the bush and help myself recover a little bit today? You know, people talk about stimulus to fatigue ratio. Every exercise has some stimulus to offer you and has a high amount of fatigue. And go into the workout assuming you're going to be very fatigued from it. And if you complete the workout and you weren't, one, that's okay. Like, you don't have to be not able to walk just to leave the gym. You want to have done enough to stimulate growth, and that's why you train to failure. It's so funny to me, people that are against training to failure, yet if you watch, you know, like Mike Isertel, he'll take people through workouts and they'll do 4 sets to failure. But he's also the guy telling you to do like 2 reps in reserve, 1 rep in reserve, you know, periodize your training, you know, have all these undulations and, you know, how many reps you do or what weight you use. And your muscles really don't care about that stuff. I mean, track it, yes, be consistent, but, you know, 8 reps to failure, 12 reps to failure, 20 reps to failure, you're producing the same environment in the muscle when you reach that point of failure. That's why if you've watched my Instagram stories, I've said how the true spectrum is really just easy versus hard exercise. That's the full spectrum. It's not cardio versus weights. It's easy, light muscle contractions that can be performed over a long duration, or there's intense tension muscle contractions that you cannot perform for a very long time and that sequentially recruit muscle fibers and not let any of them recover, right? If you're going for a walk, right? Let's use this example. Somebody's going for a walk and they say, you know, I feel better, my health's improving. That's good. And that's with such a low intensity. Can you imagine the response your body would have with a higher dose, right? A higher intensity of dosage of skeletal muscle contractions, right? Walking is very easy and light skeletal muscle contractions. But imagine if you actually walked into a weight room, targeted your legs directly. We have machines today, we have weights, we have the capacity and capability to challenge muscles directly by their function in the body and produce the most tension, the most stimulus on the muscle. It burns glycogen, right? It helps with diabetes, helps with blood pressure regulation. You're contracting skeletal muscle. This is all in the same realm. One is easy, one is not, right? Walking is the same thing as saying, I'm going to curl 1 pound weights, right? It's the same thing. It's very, very easy, and it's not very stimulating. Yet people like it, and they feel like they're getting good results with that. So can you imagine if you actually trained very hard? You would get insane results in a short amount of time, provided you let yourself recover. Here's my end of the workout flex. I actually don't know how much I weigh. I haven't weighed myself in a while, but I'm assuming it's still around 167. It's after 12 days off, guys. 12 days off. Then I hit this workout. Felt really good. You don't lose muscle when you take days off, even a week off, 2 weeks off. You're not going to lose muscle. You're going to recover and be able to hit the next workout even harder. So this is Coach Cam. Thank you guys for watching. Any comments, questions, leave them down below. Like, share, subscribe for more. Write in the comments what kind of videos you want me to make, and I'll go ahead and make those. But thanks guys for watching.